Unarmed and Unheard, the Fontana Police shooting of Jaime Valdez. Did a desperate call for help turn into a fatal injustice? The shooting of Jaime Valdez by Fontana police officer Alex Yanez raises troubling questions about excessive force, police accountability, and the desperate search for truth by a grieving family. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. In November 2023, Jaime Valdez was shot and killed in the driveway of his mother's Fontana home. The officer involved was Alex Yanez of the Fontana Police Department. The circumstances surrounding his death are now at the center of a heated legal battle. Valdez's family has filed a lawsuit in federal court against the Fontana Police Department. They allege that excessive force was used and that a subsequent cover-up was orchestrated to shield the truth. The case hinges on conflicting accounts and heavily edited body-worn camera footage. The events leading up to the shooting began with a 911 call placed by a concerned family member. The caller reported that Valdez was under the influence of drugs and making threats. This call, intended to seek help, ultimately led to a tragic confrontation. When police arrived, they found Valdez unarmed in the driveway of his mother's residence. The caller specifically told the dispatcher that Valdez was threatening to kill them. This information would later become a crucial point of contention in the investigation. The official police account claims that Valdez attempted to grab Officer Yanez's gun and taser. This narrative paints a picture of a dangerous struggle that justified the use of deadly force. However, Valdez's family vehemently disputes this version of events. The family alleges that the shooting was an act of excessive force, followed by a deliberate attempt to conceal the truth. Their lawyer, Bradley Urist, has made serious accusations, claiming Valdez was shot in the back of the head and that the family was intentionally misled. Body-worn camera footage exists, but its edited nature has fueled further suspicion and distrust. The footage shows an initial exchange between Officer Yanez and Valdez. This initial interaction appears relatively calm, but quickly escalates. Yanez is heard ordering Valdez to put his hands behind his back. A struggle ensues, and the sound of a taser being deployed can be heard. The video then abruptly cuts to the sound of gunshots, followed by Yanez reporting that he was injured. The family strongly disputes the police's account based on their interpretation of the edited footage. They believe the video reveals inconsistencies and raises serious doubts about the justification for the shooting. The cuts in the video are particularly concerning. At one point in the video, Valdez can be heard saying, "I'm not doing nothing to you, bro." This statement, captured moments before the fatal shots, casts a shadow of doubt on the police narrative of a violent struggle. The family believes it underscores Valdez's lack of aggression. Following the gunshots, the video cuts to a message from the Fontana Police Department. The message states, the officer and the suspect begin to struggle over the officer's handgun, and an officer-involved shooting occurs. This message is presented without visual context. The family claims they were initially told that Valdez was being taken to the hospital for treatment. However, they only learned of his death the following day, adding to their grief and fueling their suspicion of a cover-up. This delay in notification is a key element of their lawsuit. Further complicating matters, DNA results from Yanez's weapon were reportedly inconclusive. This lack of definitive evidence casts further doubt on the police's claim that Valdez attempted to grab the officer's gun. The family sees this as a critical piece of evidence. The family alleges that officers promised to take Valdez to the hospital. However, the autopsy report states that he died within seconds of being shot. This discrepancy raises serious questions about the officers' intentions and the accuracy of their statements. Valdez's mother claims that the police prevented her from leaving her house after the shooting. This restriction allegedly prevented her from seeing her son's body and further deepened her sense of isolation and grief. She believes this was a deliberate act of control. The lawsuit, filed by Valdez's mother and two daughters, seeks damages for a range of alleged misdeeds. These alleged misdeeds include denial of medical care, battery, and negligence on the part of the Fontana Police Department. The family is determined to hold those responsible accountable. The lawsuit outlines a series of alleged violations of Valdez's rights. These violations, if proven, could result in significant financial penalties for the city of Fontana and the officers involved. The family is seeking justice and closure. The defense has filed a motion to stay the proceedings, potentially delaying the legal process. The next court hearing is currently scheduled for April 24th. This legal maneuvering could prolong the family's suffering and delay the pursuit of justice. The family's lawyer, Michael Carrillo, emphasizes the unnecessary escalation of force by Officer Yanez. He argues that the situation could have been de-escalated without resorting to deadly force. Carrillo believes the shooting was a tragic and avoidable outcome. Carrillo points out that Valdez was not physically imposing, standing at 5'3" and weighing only 130 pounds. He argues that this further undermines the police's claim that Valdez posed a significant threat to the officer's safety. The size disparity is a key element of their argument. Carrillo stated that what immediately jumped out about the video to me is the immediate escalation of force that was totally unnecessary and led to the unreasonable use of force. This statement highlights the family's belief that the shooting was a direct result of the officer's actions. The coroner's report stated that one bullet hit Valdez in the back of his head and the other two hit his left shoulder. This information raises serious questions about the positioning of Valdez during the shooting and further fuels the family's suspicion of a cover-up. The State Department of Justice is currently investigating the shooting. This investigation is required by law when a police shooting victim is unarmed. The family hopes that this independent investigation will uncover the truth and hold those responsible accountable. The fact that Valdez was unarmed at the time of the shooting triggers a mandatory investigation by the State Department of Justice. This requirement underscores the seriousness of the incident and the need for an impartial review of the facts. The family is placing their faith in this process. Yanez told investigators that DNA testing would corroborate his claim that Valdez had gotten a hold of his gun after disobeying commands and getting into a struggle. However, as previously mentioned, the DNA results were reportedly inconclusive, undermining this claim. The family is united in their pursuit of justice for Jaime Valdez. They believe that the officer responsible for his death should be held accountable for his actions. Their grief is compounded by their belief that the shooting was unjustified and preventable. Valdez's mother, Isabel Valdez, stated that the officer should be held accountable for his actions. Her words reflect the deep pain and anger felt by the entire family. They are determined to see justice served, regardless of the challenges they face. "I want justice for my son," Isabel Valdez said in Spanish in between sobs. "The officer who took his life should pay just like any other criminal would pay. Just because he's a police officer, he shouldn't avoid jail." Her words are a powerful testament to her unwavering love for her son. Valdez's family described him as a music lover and a dedicated Los Angeles Dodgers and Dallas Cowboys fan. He was a man with passions and interests, loved by his family and friends. His life was more than just the events of that fateful night. He had struggled with meth and heroin addiction, a battle that ultimately contributed to the circumstances surrounding his death. However, his family emphasizes that his struggles do not justify the use of deadly force. They believe he deserved help, not death. The lawsuit argues that when police found him lying in the driveway that evening, he was unable to follow commands because of his altered state from drugs and mental health problems. This argument highlights the family's belief that Valdez was in need of medical assistance, not lethal force. Valdez's teenage daughter sleeps every night with a digital picture frame that loops photos of him, along with a treasured video of the two of them playing when she was 4 years old. These cherished memories are a constant reminder of her loss and the love they shared. Valdez was a father figure to his daughter, providing her with love, support, and guidance. His absence has left a void in her life that can never be filled. She is determined to honor his memory by fighting for justice. "I didn't even know what a dad was until Jaime came along. My sister didn't come along until years later," she said, referring to Valdez's biological daughter as tears streamed down her face. "So it was always us two. So that was all I knew. Jaime was my dad." Her words are a poignant reminder of the profound impact Valdez had on her life. The shooting of Jaime Valdez demands a thorough and transparent investigation. We must demand accountability from our law enforcement agencies and ensure that justice is served for all. The family's fight is a fight for all of us. Here's how you can help. Share this video, raise awareness about this case and the issues it raises. Contact your local representatives. Demand transparency and accountability from the Fontana Police Department. Support organizations fighting for police reform. Help create a more just and equitable system. Stay informed. Follow this case and other similar cases to stay engaged in the fight for justice. Let us stand in solidarity with the Valdez family and demand justice for Jaime. His life mattered, and his story deserves to be heard.